YouTube? Dan from D-Burg Skate here, and today I'm teaching you all how not to ollie on your skateboard. There's probably like a million ollie tutorials on YouTube, so you probably know the basics already. You pop the board with your back foot, slide up that front foot, level the board out, and go down. You've probably seen people do that a million times. So today I'm mainly going to discuss the main mistakes people make when trying to ollie, when trying to learn how to ollie, and how you can improve them. So let's get into it. Alright, first off, make sure your feet are set up on the board something like this. Back foot is always going to be on the tail. Do not put your back foot on the very edge of your tail. Do not put your back foot pretty much on the bolts. You want it right snug in the pocket. More like midway between the bolts and the edge of the tail, but find what works best for you. Second thing about the back foot, do not put your back foot flat on the board. The pop comes from the toes. Sometimes you'll see people doing this little move with their toes because they're trying to dig in. The pop is all in the toes. So do not be all flat-footed like this. You're not going to get any leverage, any good jump using your heel. It just doesn't work that way. It's all in the toes, alright? So make sure most of your weight is on your toes. And as for that front foot, the front foot is flexible. When I sit up to ollie, I like to have my front foot like this, and a lot of the weight is on my toes. But you can set your front foot up here as well. I recommend setting it up closer to the front bolts when you're getting started, because sliding your feet does not come naturally. The further back your front foot is, the more time it has to slide, which could allow for higher ollies. But whatever you do not have your front foot on the bolts or any further up, because you need room to slide that foot. Like, you cannot ollie like this. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work! Alright, now that we've discussed how not to set up your feet, I'm going to discuss with you how not to pop. People think the ollie is this real jerky motion like this. That is not how it's done. I get it. I understand. You're trying to practice shifting your weight front to back, forward to back to get that level out. And yes, you do need to shift your weight from forward back to forward, but the ollie is not a jerking motion. The higher you can jump, the higher you can ollie, because the ollie is just essentially a jump, but using the board as an extension of your feet. And that is exactly how you need to think about it, as a jump. So if you find that your tail isn't scraping the ground as you ollie, or you're getting a real jerky motion, think about that back foot as where you're jumping off of. This is your spring. This is why you're using your toes for the most part on this trick. You just want to jump and bring the board with you. So if you are having trouble scraping your tail against the ground and getting a really jerky outcome, take a step back, stand on your board, and just try jumping. Don't even forget the foot slide. Don't even slide your foot. Just jump. If you can do this, if you can just ollie like this, even just rocket ollies, you'll understand how the jumping works and how that comes off the back foot. And one more thing about the jump, it's not an ordinary jump with your back foot. Don't just pop straight down. Pop down and slightly backwards. That will get the board really up in the air and really set you up for a good foot slide. That jump, that back foot jump is probably the most important part. But the secondary thing is that foot slide. Now the foot setup, having it behind the bolts, as I mentioned, is super crucial, because you are going to get no leverage from the board trying to pop an ollie with your front foot on the bolts. The front foot is purely for leverage, for leveling out the board. And do not think you're going to figure the foot slide out today. I still don't have a perfect foot slide, and it takes years to develop a perfect ollie. If you can just get all four wheels off the ground, you should be happy, and just practice each day, because you will get it soon. But definitely don't think of the foot slide as something that is flat-footed. For the most part, when you're sliding that front foot up on the board, your foot is angled like this. You're using the rubber to really dig into the board, slide up, and level it out. So don't think that you're going to get any luck doing a flat-footed slide. That is just not gonna work. And at this point in the process, a lot of the ollie is gonna feel like a big weight shift. I honestly start with most of the weight on my front foot. I shift it forward, and then quickly I shift it all back. For the most part, when I'm ollieing, I am leaning back a ton to maximize as much pop and foot slide that I can get. And this leads me to my final point on how not to ollie. Yes, you are going to want to practice it stationary when you first start to learn it. But once you figure it out to a degree, do not practice it stationary. You should always practice rolling if you can. But better than rolling is the best way to get better at ollies, and that is ollieing over objects and onto objects. That's all I got for how not to ollie. Thank you for watching today. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope this improves your ollies. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, and I will see you next time.